I mean, we've seen a lot of reactions from the federal government to the security situation that we have across the country. Do you think that discussing it at the national conference will actually bring about a solution? Do you think that the solution is even anywhere in sight based on what we know?
You're talking about the solution to the
security situation.
I suppose not. It's a purely military affair. The Boko Haram people have said very clearly that their overall wish is to overturn the Nigerian state and supplant it with a Muslim state ruled by Sharia. And that's something that perhaps other ethnic groups in Nigeria do not look too kindly on. And they've opted for force. That's something that the Nigerian state must stand up to and defeat. And, you know, the work of the military is cut out, and they're doing an excellent job, irregardless of the sensationalism of the media. I'm loath to say that perhaps even some media outfits are cooperating with the terrorists, with the invaders.
You do actually believe that the media is making a sensation out of this issue?
Some elements in the media, yes, really? Certainly.
Oh, I mean, some people are saying it's underreported. I mean, when you say sensation out of it, it's interesting that you're bringing up this issue.
When we say it's underreported from the point of view of the Nigerian armed forces, but the point of view of the terrorists seems to be quite well reported. Okay, when there's a terrorist strike, what we hear from media outfits, you know, reported time and again, is that the terrorists are so heavily armed and have such sophisticated weapons, and there are so many of them that they easily overwhelm army units, which is not true.
Could it be true? I mean,
which is not true.
So you
it's
mean
not
that
true.
What some media houses are reporting are false?
I believe so, yes.
You think
in
so?
The light of the
but have you been there?
In light of the attack on Maiduguri 3 days ago, where the Boko Haram people, in a foolhardy manner, tried to take the Giwa barracks in Maiduguri. You saw what happened. They failed woefully. Hundreds of their people were killed in the futile attempt. And, you know, I think they began to believe the hype that was being, you know, spread for them by some irresponsible media houses and media practitioners.
Interesting. Okay. So, I mean, basically, the security situation seems to, in this particular year that we are, and coming at this point when we have a national conference, it seems that, do you think that the national conference, the security situation, side by side, do you see any correlation, and do you see any light at the end of the tunnel?
What I do see is that at the beginning, when the president announced that there was going to be a national conference, some members of the opposition, some leaders of the opposition, who had been known for their advocacy for a national conference, came out and said the national conference was going to be a waste of time, in a, you know, stunning about turn of policy. Okay, now, irregardless of what they said, the president has gone on anyway, and the conference is now about to start. So I dare say that they'll be employing all sorts of means, fair and foul, to frustrate the convening of the conference. They've done that severally, and they've failed. And perhaps the only resort they have now is to violence. So I want to urge the security agencies not to relent in their efforts to bring the purveyors of the Boko Haram genocide and the genocide going on in the Middle Belt, not to relent in their efforts to bring them to book, because I think you'll find that there is some commonality between the trenchant criticism of the opposition and the incidences of violence, murder, genocide, mayhem that seem to keep popping up every time there's something of serious national interest to discuss.
Wouldn't that be too harsh on the opposition when you say
I don't think it is. I mean, several members of the opposition have come out and said stuff like dogs and baboons will be covered in blood.
But I think that was long laid to rest, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not laid to rest. I mean, a nation that forgets its history is a dead nation. That's my opinion. Okay, we must not forget. We must never forget the hundreds and thousands of youth corpers that were slaughtered immediately after the 2011 election. It is my considered opinion that these incidents must not be forgotten, and that going forward we must treat politicians, that make such pronouncements with the severity that they deserve.
I think generally politicians have mellowed in their utterances since we saw the actions of the security.
Well, we heard the governor of Editi State recently making pronouncements bordering on incitement. Okay, this is a man who has run his state aground. He's borrowed the treasury into the ground. Okay, they're fully borrowed up to the hilt, and they have nothing to show for it. Okay?
It's interesting when you say they have nothing to show for it.
And the people of the state are fed up. They want him out. So the result, what has now happened is that there have been a lot of killings of opposition figures. Prominent opposition figures have been murdered in Editi State, and that's been going on for months now. Okay, in this recent INEC registration exercise, we have seen a number of murders, a number of serious assaults. Just 2 days ago, a bunch of people were macheted in Editi State, just over INEC registration.
But I mean, you're not a security operative, so you may not be able to have facts on...
Well, you see, the good thing about the information superhighway, okay, the internet, Facebook, social media, all this and all that, is that we can actually get information, we can get pictures, we can get video, okay? A commissioner in Editi State is reported to have slapped a youth corper working as an ad hoc staff for INEC just because the youth corper refused. It's an allegation, yes, I agree, but it's a very serious allegation nonetheless that bears investigation.
All right,
the youth corper refused to register some underage children that the commissioner had brought to the polling booth to register as
allegations
voters.
Anyway, like you
allegations that must be looked into.
But then, just before we move into the national conference issue, now the national conference is starting. A lot of issue that has to do with logistics and the way and manner that particular conference is going to be run. Do you have any fears as to that, funding and logistics?
I don't think that there's anything to fear really, because of course it's been appropriated for in the budget. So whatever they're going to spend has been pre-planned, and we should see, as far as logistics and accommodation and all these things, I don't think we should have a problem there.
What are your hopes for the first few days at the national conference?
I hope to see some serious submissions being made. I hope to see, I hope that we will not get any political grandstanding. I hope that people will address issues with the candor that they deserve, okay, and with the honesty that they deserve, okay. And I think we'll get that. The quality of people that we've seen signed up as delegates to the conference suggests that we will have a very fruitful outing, yes. All right.
We'll take a short break now, and when we return, I'm still talking with Mr. Babatunde Gbadamosi and the issue of the politics of the Southwest. We'll take our attention when we return on the program tonight. We've been talking about the national conference on the program, the issue of Editi and Osun governorship election also will take our attention. It's on the program Politics Today on Channels Television. Stay with us. We'll be right back.